Oh, well, I'll go for a piss while you do that then. All right.
Yeah. Alcohol is the lifeline solution to all of life's problems. Don't forget that.
Well, to most of them, yeah. Oh, Tom, I'm just getting myself an ice water.
Pardon?
I'm just getting an ice water.
All right.
Hello, hello.
Hello, sexy. So it turns out I have 14 gigabytes available on my phone, so this should no sweat.
Beautiful. We'll get it done. Cool. Sounds good, my man. Right. So, cheers.
Yes.
What the fuck was that?
It's always a risk opening these things.
What have you got? What's your poison?
My poison is. I'll show it to both cameras. One
Yeah.
at the bottom and then one at the top.
Oh, Camden Pale Ale. I can never get into those sort of things. I don't know why.
I'm far down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
I fucking love them. It's a nice little product placement as well. Harping on, sponsored by Camden Town Brewery.
I think it's Camden Town Brewery, sponsored by Harping On. Is how you got to do it. Because we've already got to do it. Like it's already a high level.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Future thinking. I like it.
That's how you got. It's future proof in your whole thing, mate. That's how you got to do it.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, talk to me. What have you just finished? What have you just completed doing?
I've just completed my little workout that I do now.
Yeah.
Because of Matthew Hub, I've got a nice little regime that I have added and kind of chopped and changed since you gave it to me.
Cool. Yeah.
And I've upped the weightage only because 10 was getting a bit stagnant and a little bit boring.
Good.
And I often found that I forgot what kind of set I was on because I was just getting a bit bored doing it, to be honest. So that's quite a good thing.
Yeah.
I like that.
that.
But it's weird because, like I said just a minute ago when I was texting you, it's like since I started it, the 12K rather than the 10. It's like I've got smaller since starting the higher weights. I'm doing the same amount.
Okay.
But it's like I've got smaller. I don't know, or maybe it's me expecting something to happen instantly because it's a bigger weight and not happening.
Could be. Yeah.
It's all very possible. I don't know, to be honest, but yeah.
Well, when did you up the weight? When did that happen?
This week, Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. And how many times have you done it since then?
3 times.
Okay.
So Tuesday, yesterday, and today.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to judge from that short time, but just give it a week or two and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it. Your muscle has to tear and then build again. So lifting weights actually tears the muscle. So the swelling is an inflammation because it's healing the destruction is what you're doing to the small amount of the. Oh God, I need to go back to my textbook on this. I'm learning as I go along. It's one of those things.
That's the most fun way to do it.
It is, but I think it's the. I can't remember the word. I want to say fascia, but I think that's wrong. But it's basically the small muscular fibers, and by using them, you tear them, and then it is the law of progressive overload, is where you kind of go like that. You then go up, and then that. So it's like steps all the way up, on and on and on and on. So it's like
key flex for your bicep there as well. I saw that, Matthew.
Well, you got to get him in there, mate. But yeah, it's like the steps of a pyramid, just going up and up and up and up. That's how you get it. There's a progressive overload. You do that, your body adapts to it. You then go a little bit more, your body then adapts to that, and on and on and on and on. Yeah. But that's interesting that you said that. I have to look into that whilst done that. But that's could certainly well be a part of the adaptation phase, which would be very interesting.
Yeah, or maybe it's just me being a special case. It could also be.
Maybe, yeah. There's individualism is certainly a factor for sure. Yeah. What works for me won't necessarily work for you.
Yeah, I mean, because like I was wondering, like at a point, would doing what am I trying to say? At a point, doing 5-5. That I'm assuming that kind of way of doing weights and whatnot can only take you so far. Is there after that? Can you do that to a certain point, or is it like a good foundation to start off with, and then to go on to something else, or what?
Foundation, definitely, yeah, for sure. About getting big.
Sorry, Matt. Wait a sec. We have a third guest. Sorry, he meowed, and I wondered where he was.
Who is this?
This is Archie. I don't think you've met Archie.
No, I've met Arthur. Why you got two cats beginning with A?
Arthur died quite a few years ago.
Oh shit! Fuck. Now, this is recorded for all time now. Fuck.
This is immortalised.
Oh bollocks! Sorry, man. No, I know you told me as well. When you saw you a couple of months ago, you already told me that. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, that's all right. This one, Archie, he's 3 years old. He's 4 on the 3rd of September, so a day after my mum's birthday.
Okay.
My mum's birthday. Archie birthday Eve, which pisses her off to no end. But there he is.
That freaked me out because I thought George had come back. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god.
That freaked me out, mate.
I mean, that scared the shit out of me as well. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. I can imagine if he did come back, he'd be there just like, what?
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, that'd be nice. This podcast would go viral. Undead cat comes back from the dead.
Yeah, it's the cat. Jesus reincarnates as a cat. Yeah, mate. It's Jesus' hometown name, bro.
Yeah. So anyway, 5-5 being a good foundation.
Oh right, yeah. I mean, it depends what you want to do. Like, for functional fitness is great. I mean, 5-5 I got from Yuma, and this was a man who could do 10 push-ups with me stood in his back, and he was deadlifting and squatting to rival Michael. So you're there like something's working. That's what I got from him. I mean, like, because I train with him, I train with Joe and Alex. I mean, like, Alex, we both have, because Alex is like, he will spend like 2 or 3 hours in the gym because he just does reps after reps until he can't move his body. It depends what you want to do, because Yuma didn't get huge, but he just got fucking strong.
Yeah. Really,
really strong. Whereas Alex got big. So what Alex was doing is he's doing a range of exercises. He did 12 reps and up. So he did 12 and 18, and that creates hypertrophy, but extended hypertrophy. So hypertrophy is muscles getting bigger, and extended is going towards like the bodybuilding, powerlifting, the bodybuilding, powerlifting side of things, where it's just size. Like, when Alex's neck was bigger than his head, and you're just like,
probably still is, isn't it?
No, he's lean as shit now.
Is it?
Yeah, I saw him a month or two ago. No, a month ago, and because the gyms are shut. He hasn't had access to weights, so he's just been running.
Oh, fuck.
I'm like, he looks good. He looks real good.
Yeah.
Real good. But yeah, that's the difference. So because you're doing heavy weights for high reps, you're going to get big if you do it over a long period of time. Whereas with you, if you, like the 5-5 thing, again, I'm only doing it from a sample of 1 for Yuma because he only did 5 and he never got huge, but he was just thick as an oak, and he was it was so damn strong, like crazy strong. So I think that would suit you as well, unless well, I don't know. It depends. What do? Sorry, I'm assuming. What do you want? What do you want to get out of this? Besides, well, yeah. What do you want to get out of it?
I think just to want to fill out a fucking t-shirt. To be honest, can we swear on this? I think I've already sworn already.
Fuck yes.
That was a stupid question, wasn't it?
Yeah, you have not been listening to me beforehand, you little bastard.
No. What a stupid question. Yeah, literally, probably just to fill out a t-shirt and to be a little bit more confident in myself. To be honest,
yeah,
that's literally it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I don't know what that will be until I probably reach it. So it's,
I think it's a case of you will find what makes you feel good, and you'll be like, okay, I want to keep doing this, or I want to see if I can feel better. I mean, that's what my experience has been anyway, because it makes you just feel good, and it feels awesome.
It does, and like for the last month and a half that I've been doing it properly, it made a difference. And like I have gone outside. It sounds like mad, but like I have gone outside in like just a t-shirt, and for people that have known me for a while, like especially my uni friends and people from like Hyden and that, like, I always used to have like a long sleeve t-shirt on, like an absurd amount of layers, even like this time of year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has made a difference. And I suppose being in lockdown, being able to go outside and get tan as well also helps, because I'm criminally pale. 9 months out of 12.
Criminally pale. That's a good one. I like that.
put on my headstone. Tom Caiger, here lies Tom Caiger.
Criminally pale. He died of being pale.
Too many people looked at him and were blinded, so he was put down.
Yeah. It was for the good of the community, you know. Yeah, it would just be a whole ring of people with hoods on going, the greater good. Crusty jugglers.
Great big bushy beard.
That is one of the most British films ever created. Like, it's up there with Pride and Prejudice, Love Actually, Hot Fuzz.
Yeah. Love Actually is the one Christmas time
with every English actor ever. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
It's a good film. Very good film.
It is. But actually, talking on the subject of Hot Fuzz, me and my dad started watching. Now this is related, but we started watching Band of Brothers, right?
Oh, that's heavy. It's good.
Yeah, and I didn't know that Simon Pegg was in that. I had no idea.
So many people are in it. It's great. You got Simon Pegg, David Schwimmer, Stephen Graham, and most people just have like a cameo in like a couple of scenes, and then they move on. But you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and the fact that it was so long ago before a lot of these people actually did anything relatively large, I suppose. It's mad.
Yeah, I think. I'm trying to think when it happened, because Schwimmer. I think it was for Schwimmer. It was just after Friends, I think, or around the same sort of time. I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And I mean, watching it as well, it doesn't look like something that came out about 20 years ago. Like, it looks so new, like ridiculously new.
Yeah.
Sometimes the effects look a little bit dated, but just the way it's filmed doesn't look like anything that came out of that time. I guess that's why it's so successful, I suppose.
You do get a certain amount of films and games like that who are kind of timeless, like, or maybe not timeless, but maybe don't look the time that they came out. I mean, like, anything that's remastered doesn't really count because they just re-enhanced everything. But I mean, like, because I'm playing Far Cry, and I'm playing Far Cry 4, and that came out 7 or 8 years ago. And it's still, like, I'm like, this is so realistic, it's crazy. It's still so good, like, the graphics and the gameplay and everything, it's still amazing.
Which one is Far Cry 4?
It's the one in that little... It's supposed to be like Nepal, because it's set in that between like China and India, and you've got those it's a really small like country, and the main character's gone there to like spread his mum's ashes, and then gets attacked by like the dictator, and he's like, right, fuck this, I'm gonna join the rebels.
I think I might have played that one, or maybe Far Cry 3.
Both are great. Both are really good games.
Yeah, because I remember the Far Cry 3. I think it's the one I played. Was the one where you have a disease or something, and you've got to every now and then kind of like you need to buy, or maybe I'm thinking of something else entirely.
I don't think that's Far Cry. Carry on, go on.
And you need to kind of like pump yourself with this antidote or something every kind of point in the game.
Okay.
And if you don't have it, then it fucks you up a little bit. But I can't remember whether that was like Far Cry.
Could be Far Cry 2. It's not 3. Definitely not 3. Could be 2, maybe. What was it saying?
It looked like it was on the continent of Africa. I don't know where.
Yeah, that's Far Cry 2. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, that's 2. Yeah, that's terrible.
Okay, and it had like a map builder, so you could build things, or like a sandbox thing, so you could build stuff in the, or when you're not playing the levels, you can like build shit outside and kind of like have all the little items and stuff and make your own levels and shit.
It sounds like a mixture between BioShock, Metal Gear Solid, and Minecraft.
I'm gonna look this up right now.
That doesn't sound like any Far Cry. Far Cry game is a open world RPG where you're just you're basically go around and shooting people.
Oh yeah, I know, but no, you're right. It is Far Cry 2.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one wasn't so good. They started off weird. Like the first one was you're like a hitman being dropped on an island. You've got to take out this boss who's like hidden there, and then it turns out there's like weird shit going on the island, and it turns out the boss has got this lab where he's been bioengineering humans, and then the lab like explodes, and it's basically like the flood on an island, and he's like, oh shit, and he's just got to survive. And then 2, yeah, another hitman. No, he's like a contract. He's like a mercenary. In Africa, he's just got to survive. Whereas, yeah, the plots are really good. Like 3, because I've got all the way up to past. So I got 3, 4, 5, New Dawn, which is the one after that, and then Primal, it's basically you, a stick, a rock versus a mammoth.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, it's nuts. You're there like, this is crazy, because he just goes all the way back to 10,000 BC or whatever.
There's a Far Cry like version called like Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's like completely removed because it wasn't like part of 3 or 4 or something like that.
It was supposed to be a DLC for 3, but I mean, it's a fucking futuristic cyborg. It's like Terminator. Yeah, it's like Terminator meets Game of Thrones. You're just like, no, Terminator meets Jurassic World. Sorry.
Yeah, I sort of remember that.
You got fucking cyborg dragons floating around and shit.
Yeah, I watched the trailer for it. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's quite nice.
It's cool stuff. You may or may not have noticed, but this glass here, I'm joining. I'm joining you in solidarity because it says Amstel, but it's obviously water. Do you recognise this glass at all?
The fact that you've asked me that means that I probably should remember.
So I didn't have this glass as of 2019. I had it as of 2020 because an acquaintance of ours on New Year went for a wander to the shops to then realise that it's New Year's Eve, the fucking shops are shut. But he's like, on the way back, I'm going to stop in the pub near it. And as he was going into the pub, he walked back out again and found a couple of glasses, and this was one of them. There they are.
Was that Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just picked a fucking pint off the table and walked. Just can't walk back to the house. Doesn't matter where, and people don't know where I am. We don't know what pub it was.
No.
Yeah. We don't know which Kyle we're talking about.
No. It could be fucking Kyle Reese from Terminator. Nobody fucking knows.
Exactly. And Kyle Reese, he could have been a 10-year-old boy. He could have been a fully grown man. He could have been a teenager. Depends which Terminator we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Or he could just, not actually. No, if I say it doesn't exist, then that would give it away, wouldn't it?
It could.
Then they think, it's not Kyle Reese, it's another Kyle. Then they might think it's what's another famous Kyle?
I don't think
not many.
I don't think there's anyone who's famous who's called Kyle. Nah, nothing. I haven't got
It's
anything, mate.
Carl Gas. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. No, that's Carl.
Is
Is that
it?
Carl? Hang on, let me check. I'm checking. Hang on. I'm sure that was Carl. Oh, no, yeah, Kyle Gass. That's a good one. Bloody hell, he looks like Jesus at the minute. Damn. Yeah, no, okay, fine. Kyle Gass. Let's see what else we got. We're gonna go for famous
Kyles.
Famous Kyles. Okay. I don't know any of these. I'm sure these must be making this shit up. So they've got Kyle Lowry. No, just sounds like someone's watched Bad Boys and put that together. Kyle Busch. No. Kyle Chandler. No.
Kyle Busch, did you say?
Yeah.
He's a NASCAR racer.
Oh, okay.
Only because he had a really cool car in Gran Turismo 5 and had lots of M&Ms all over it.
Yeah, there he is. You've got Kyle Lowry, who's a basketball player. I don't know any of these ones. You've got all of these people are all of these are like athletes. Even though you've got Kyle Richards, who's a woman, unless we're pronouncing that differently, maybe.
Interesting.
Kylie, I suppose. Kylie Seager, baseball player.
It's Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, that's an IE at the end. You got Kyle Rudolph. God, imagine having Rudolph as a last name.
That'd be mad.
That would. Yeah, I see Kyle Gass is number 15. Kyle Brady. He's a football player, American football player. Yeah, it could be.
Tom Brady.
That's one thing. I'm thinking, is he a brother of him? Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be. So there are some famous Kyles, but you'd have to be an athlete, or that's about it.
The Kyle that we know is the best Kyle that exists. I think.
Why is that, Tom? Interesting opinion. Why is that?
Because
is he the only Kyle we know?
Oh God! Apologies if I know any other Kyles out there. I don't think I do.
Well, there you are then. Then by default, he is the best one.
Yeah, at least he finishes in the top 3, I suppose.
To be fair, that New Year was good fun. It was
jokes.
It was chill, but it was fucking funny. That was good.
Telestrations.
Oh man, it never gets old. Like obviously, if you play it too much in one night, it's boring. But you can go years without playing it, and you're like, oh, this is so gold.
I know. It's just, but I think what we have as a USP is Richard's style of illustration and just his fucking handwriting.
Oh my god. He gets awards just how shit his handwriting is.
Yeah, just how much of a weird little vibe he's got to his drawings.
I mean, it's like playing Cards Against Humanity. If you've got me, you, Richard, Kyle, and Nathan in a room playing either of those two games, it's just gonna be so like if we ever there's like the amount of words that are just and phrases that are just so inappropriate that could get us arrested just from the use of them, you know?
Yeah. You do realise now that you said this, we're going to have this happen.
Just recreate it?
Yeah, just get the people that you listed off, lock ourselves in a room for a couple of hours and just play these games.
Hell yeah, mate. Al at work, who's 60, he's never played Cards Against Humanity.
I reckon he'd be quite good at it, you know?
Definitely. Definitely he'd be good at it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you'd love it. First of all, you'd love it. Second of all, you're missing out, man. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Oh, yeah, man, that's some potential goldness just sat there.
I know. I can't have wasted potential, mate. I'm not about that.
No. How does it work? How is it going?
It's all right at the minute. I mean, we're doing fine. So my store's okay, but it's just quite shit. Like as a business, they probably got to start making cuts in a few weeks, maybe a month. It ain't gonna be me, so that's all right. But even if it is,
that's all that matters. Yeah.
Well, even if it is, it's not the end of the world because it's just a means to an end at the minute. So yeah, just the way it is. I mean, in a way, it's kind of worked out. If it does go, it would be awesome because it's like great. It's all worked in a way so that I'll then actually do what I want to do in life, as opposed to I just got this job, so I thought, fuck it, I'll stay here.
Yeah.
which I think like my dad's had the same thing because he's been in a cycle of because he's a contractor. He's been in a cycle of jumping from contract to contract, or well, no, I say jumping hunting for so long, and he just went, you know what, fuck it, I'm not gonna bother right now, and I'll just do something that I actually enjoy. And he's actually taking the time to find it. I'm like, fair play, mate.
Yeah,
if you can, why not?
That's a good time. I suppose this whole thing has probably forced a lot of people's hands to drop what they've been doing, either because they've been made redundant or the fact that maybe their company, I think as well, actually, this whole thing has lifted the veil on a lot of companies treating their employees badly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think a lot of people are beginning to see the light and starting to do their own thing, whether that's because they've been made redundant or whether they've just come around to a realisation of some description. But it's nice. And I know a lot of people have kind of done that. They've gone off to find their own thing, or they've somehow, I don't know how, managed to go travelling to several countries. I don't know how.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I think we're probably thinking of the same person. Yeah.
Yeah. How have you done that?
Yeah. Well, I think that's less about. I think it's obviously it's part of them as well. You know, obviously the fact that they've chosen to do that is cool, but it's also just another symptom of these fucking dumb laws, where it's just like social distancing, wear a fucking mask, do all this shit, stay in the house, but you can fly wherever you want, and you're like, but how does that work? And it's like I was talking to Joe about it the other day, and he was like, yeah, so they were supposed because he works at the airport now, and he was like. He works for the like repair crews or like de-icer things or whatever. So he deals with all those big trucks that have to service the airplanes. And he was saying that he sees all the people coming off and going to like a quarantine booth. So for anyone who's not at the airport, what we're being told is that they're being quarantined. They're being they've got to get checked to make sure they're not carrying anything or infected or anything. It says they go in, get stamped, fucking walk back out again. And they're like, are you going to be quarantined for 14 days? And they're like, yeah, I'll do it. And they're like, all right, cool, see you later. And that's it. He said...
You know full well that none of those people are going to do that.
No, they're fucking not. They've got a life to lead.
Yeah.
But equally, there's... I looked at like 2 or 3 days ago, and the number of active cases in the UK was 800 out of... So that's probably in that day. But that's out of 66.6 million people.
I know. Like
at 0.001%.
Yeah. And if 1% of this population were to pass away from or die from this coronavirus, I think it's about 1% will be about 600,000 people, which it's a lot. Don't get. I'm not saying that it's not a lot of people, and that's a lot of lives lost and things destroyed, but that's 1%.
Yeah, but exactly. And we are at the minute the death toll was 42,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, you lot listening, you do the maths. I mean, come on. 42,000 out of over 66 million people. It's a fucking drop in the ocean. Like, obviously, every death is bad, every death is sad, but if we didn't know that this was a fucking different thing, which looks very much like the flu, we would just be like, "Oh, flu's pretty bad this year."
Yeah, and I was talking to my mum. She was saying a couple of days ago that when SARS broke out at the beginning of this century, and that was sort of along the similar lines, that we managed to contain it and control it. I don't know. I don't quite know how, but they were working on a vaccine at some point back then to cure it at least, and they were working on it. And by the time they managed to stabilise it and to actually have it under control, they stopped working on this little vaccine they had. But according to my mum, they said that vaccine, had they carried on the research, that would have been closer to a vaccine we would have needed for this coronavirus than where we have got to now. There would have been very much little legwork to take the SARS vaccine and produce a variant to create a vaccine for the coronavirus. I mean, hindsight is always crystal clear, I suppose.
Well, it's like it's like that meme going around in the minute. It's hindsight is 2020, and you're like, yeah, I've heard that phrase. They're like, no, hindsight is the year 2020, and you're like, oh shit.
I can't wait for all the textbooks and shit like years from now, where it's just going to say 2018, 2019, 2021.
Yeah. Just be like, nah, we're moving on.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. There's nothing. I mean, yeah.
Well, it's also the case that it just because this happened doesn't mean everything else in the world stops. Everything still's happening, but there's nothing else that the news wants to talk about. All they want to talk about is this bullshit, and you're like, why are we having news from 6 in the morning until 10 at night about the same topic? Like, you need 9 o'clock bulletin, 12 or 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, done. The rest of it be like, yeah, just do some other shit, but just cover some other stories. But it got to a point where I was like, we're interviewing this old lady, like, so how have you been doing during the lockdown? Well, I sit in my study and I look at the neighbour's children across the road, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What else? Like, you just. It's like, they're going by the theory of if you throw enough shit at a wall, some of it will stick.
Yeah. I know a couple of people who used to just sit and read about it all day, and they would rarely look at anything else, and then it would work them up into a frenzy just because of, I suppose, they were just reading too much about it, and it would kind of fuck them up a little bit, I suppose.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons why I try to find out things on a daily basis about it, but I've managed to kind of I don't know what the kind of way to put it is, remove myself from it, because a lot of these things, they're talking about it that it will affect us all as a whole, whereas even that's a sweeping statement. It won't. Everything that's going on, it will affect some people worse than it will others. That doesn't mean that we're all going to face the same consequences. So
no, of course not.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult. And another thing to point out, that we haven't even known this thing to exist. Not even for a year. Maybe 8 months.
Yep.
It hasn't even been on this. We haven't known about it for very long, and yeah, it's just a bit shit. But whatever.
Yeah, it just beggars belief that. I completely understand, doing the lockdown to begin with, because we were like, oh shit, this could get really bad. And, to begin with, everyone was scared, everyone was worried. And then you're like, this is a huge overreaction. We have to open up again. And they're like, nope, because it's now a fucking pissing contest. Because they've got to save face. But the powers that be, I think they've got to save face. But the only people they've got to save face to is them fucking themselves in the mirror. We don't care. You made a mistake. What do you do? Fucking move on. Let's carry on. But they're like, no. I said it, so I've got to double down on it. And you're like, just say you were wrong, mate. It doesn't mean any shit. You're like, all right, fine, cool. Let's move on.
Oh, so you're talking about Lord Cummins, I assume, and all that.
Oh, he's a fucking arsehole. Like,
the lockdown.
He's such an arsehole.
The lockdown ended the day that he refused to apologise or do anything like that. That interview he had.
Joking.
The lockdown. No. As far as unofficially, the entire country, as far as everybody in the United Kingdom is concerned, the day that he refused to apologise in that interview he had in his back garden, that's when I think unofficially the lockdown just ended.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Doing whatever the fuck they wanted to.
Fuck yes. Well, because I know people who they don't leave the house. They get everything delivered to them. They spend all the time on the computer. They're watching TV. They're on their phones all the time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm really scared to go outside because it's I could die, I could catch it or whatever." And I'm like, all you've got to do, from someone who's been outside in retail with the customer facing for the last 2 months, it is fucking fine. It's fine. And again, that could just be Reading, which from speaking to people I know who
remarkably okay. Like Reading is almost clean.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking to people who've been in the NHS, they had it in a few of our friends, like Matt, who's in the Prospect Hospital. He's like, I haven't had a case in 2 months. Someone else who's in Royal Berks, 7 weeks. You're like, cool. Whereas in Southampton, they were like, oh, it was 3 weeks ago. So that was obviously more intense. But it's fine now. But it was more intense for longer than we were. So obviously it's different from regional. But yeah, we've been fine in Reading. And I'm sure there have been some deaths. But if we look at it from a great perspective of car crashes, cancer, heart attacks, alcoholism, smoking, come on, it's at best it's the same. Sorry, at worst it's the same. At the best it's lower than them. But no one gives a shit about people smoking. No one gives a shit about people drinking excessively. Don't worry about it. It's fine because we get tax money from it.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's just I think the main thing that people could do is just be engage with common sense when out and about. I just be mindful of the people, because not everybody is going to have the same kind of, like, some people that we probably know, that some people will be absolutely terrified of it, whether it's rampant in this town or not.
Yep.
It's just, I think at the moment you have to be thinking about other people rather than yourself when you're out and about, to be honest, because if you look out for other people and you kind of you take into account other people's potential views on it while you're out and about, and just generally like engaging in normal social activities, I think you'll be okay, and as will they, and everybody will be at a kind of more peaceful level.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but then again, we're British, and so if we see something that we don't like, we will keep quiet about it until we can get home with the safety of our living room and rant about it to whoever we sat next to.
Yeah, it's like if you've got a fucking if you've got bad food or bad service at a restaurant, you'd be like, oh, I guess it's terrible food there. How's dinner? Delicious, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Terribly British, and complain quietly. But here's where I take reassurance and comfort. You are a prime example where I'm getting fucking reassurance from, because you came to me in the first month or so and you were like, I've got all this time, what can I do to make myself better? And I was like, that's a fucking, you're taking the advantage of this otherwise bad situation, and you're like, I want to make myself better. I'll have the opportunity to do it now. What do I need to do? What can I try? So that's what's been great for me to see, from not just from you, but from loads of people I know. There's a small minority of people who have been like, oh, I'm just going to water this and be sad. Everyone else I know, I'm like, fuck this, let's get better.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I think I came round to that view after I'd gone through the let's wallow and be sad stage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's been fucking, like, hard. Very, very difficult. For multiple reasons. But, like, I suppose I'm just trying not to think about it too much. And that sounds like I'm kind of, like, pushing it down. And
you don't need to waste time thinking about it. I agree. Fuck it. Doesn't concern you in a minute. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. And like I've thought about this way of thinking, where it's like, if I start to think about something, or if a thought enters in my head that I don't like, or something that throws up concerns or potential problems, I just ask myself, does it matter?
What would Jesus do?
To the words right out of my mouth.
You're right, yeah. Well, does it matter? Yeah.
Does it actually matter? And you say it a couple of times, even out loud, if that works. And then you actually think, like, does that thing that you're worried about matter? And if that thing happens, and those potential consequences that you've thought up happened, would they matter? And if they don't, fucking leave it. Yeah, but I suppose everybody has their different problems, and again, people attack them in different ways. So, yeah. But I certainly won't be the same person that entered the lockdown or entered this shit when we eventually leave it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will be. I refuse to believe that anybody coming out of this year, at least, will be the same as when they enter the next, or when they come out of this. For better or for worse, hopefully for better. if not for better, then they'll learn from the worst and get better. Because that's the only way. Yeah. It's been a weird year, isn't it? And it's only just gone 2/3 of the way through.
Well, dude, it's my fucking birthday next week, and that doesn't make any sense to me because to me it feels like May. I'm like, it feels like May or June. I'm like, because I've lost a bunch of months. I'm like, this can't be August. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Are you planning for it? You got any ideas?
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably get a consensus from people. Like, if people are up for something, then yeah, I'll do something. But at the minute, I'm like, if I did something around here, would you come over? Would you up for that?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's all I need to know. All right, we'll plan something.
Because unless you've already had it, in which case fine. But I remember on New Year's Eve, I left that bottle of Moe in your house. So
that's a good shout. It's a good shout. Yeah, it's a good time. Well, 25 is a big number.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, as soon as you hit 25, everything just goes. Everything lasts longer. Everything hurts a little bit more.
I'd rather shit lasted longer, to be honest, because I don't know. I was speaking to a friend of ours yesterday about what us lot as a group got up to and time. Because thinking about it, the window where the most happened for us lot was. Well, I'm not saying me and you because we were friends for 10 years now. Yeah. But as in properly, not as opposed to just not just knowing each other. But as our group, it would have been between 2000 and end of 11. Let's say 11 through to 14. Let's say.
Yeah.
Would have been the core year, maybe up to 15. Anyway, 3 or 4 years is when everything happened, and it feels like at the time it felt like each month was a year. It feels like it's so much has gone past, and even when I'm thinking about it, it's 8 years, and it feels like last week, but also feels like 20 years. It's really weird.
I suppose that. Would you say that's because we did so much stuff, and because time flies, it felt like it was a blink of an eye, but at the same time, we managed to do so many things.
Well, think about it. I mean, put in perspective. Here's a little perspective for you. I have because I fucking hate Facebook. I want to get I took all of my photos off it, and I started compiling it's nowhere near finished. I started compiling a shared album of us lot.
Oh, nice one.
And I ended up, so I got all of mine. I was like, I found birthdays, New Year's, barbecues, drinking yards, beaches, walks, camping. I'm there like, there's gonna be more pictures for each of these events than just me. So I've been delving through everyone's profiles and just taking the pictures I want. Yeah. And I lost count of the amount of pictures of me, yours and mine, iconic posing.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Because I thought we had 4, and I lost count. I was like, how are there so many that I just forgot about? There's so many.
Fucking brilliant. We need to do another one, a 2020 edition.
Yeah, man. We could do a 10-year. It'll be a 9-year anniversary. Because the first one was December... No, it would be 10-year anniversary, because the first one was December 27th, 28th of December 2010 is when it was the original.
Was it?
Yep.
Jesus, that's fucking hell.
The thing is, the reason that was the original... For anyone who doesn't know, the context is Tom... If someone taking a picture of Tom, and I'm in the background, just like this...
And I'm like...
Yeah. But again, he's doing that because he's just getting a picture taken. I'm doing this because I'm genuinely fucked off. So the original...
Can you remember why?
Yes, I know exactly why. So the original was... So boxing... So it must have been, I think it was the 28th. The 27th of December, I'd been with my uncle in Worcester. And my Worcester family can drink all day, all night, pass out on the floor, wake up, start drinking again. And I just can't keep up with that. and I was so drunk and so violently ill that I had to sit in the car with a bucket between my legs all the way home in the car.
I remember you telling me this actually.
Oh, I threw up so much they had to throw away the duvet.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So anyway, so we had that, but we'd already planned to have that person's birthday on the 28th.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm not missing out because everyone will be there and be a good laugh. I just want to drink, it's fine. So I turn up and they're like, yeah, it's okay. And as everyone gets steadily more drunk, I'm like, I fucking hate this. So I was sat in the corner, sober as shit, hot, angry, hanging out my arse, and this feels like poking me and shit. And then like you say something to me, and then someone's like, Tom smiles. You turn around like that. I'm like, fuck you at the same point, and then it was just immortalized for all time.
Oh my god.
Oh man, but that's the context, and that's the original one is genuine fury in my face.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And this is then.
I think I know who took the photo as well. I think I know.
Yeah, I think I know as well.
Yeah, but fucking hell, yeah. I remember that, and then that was it. That's just so I know what.
Yeah, every opportunity. I think. Yeah, but I was just like, how are there so many of you? I just forgot about those of them.
They are funny. Yeah. They are good. My word. I just like sometimes I go through my camera roll, and I have so many like. I had a little memory notification that came up on my phone a couple of days ago about the last camping trip that we had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so
fuck yeah.
The one photo that it chose to stand out was like a size D battery just sitting in a pool of water, like inside the tent.
I just remember Josh waking up and going, "Oh, a battery in water. That's safe."
Yeah, fucking hell. That was fine.
Why do we have batteries?
Probably for a boombox or something. You might have had, your one.
No, it wouldn't have been. No, it was. No, I know exactly. Someone got a shitty little plastic boombox replica for their birthday or something, and they brought it along.
Right.
And they just used it for everything, and they like plug their phone in or they use it for radio. No, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what it was. You're right. It was an actual little replica. It was terrible, but it was pretty funny. But it was so shit. It only worked on actual batteries, so you couldn't charge it.
Yeah, that's a bit naff.
Yeah, fucking hell, that camping trip. Jesus. It was just it was off to a bad start where you wake up in the morning, you step outside, and it's a wall of fog in front of your nose, and you're like, where are the cars? and they're next to the tent, but you can't see them.
Oh, God. And it's just when we decided to move into Falmouth.
That was the best move of the whole fucking week.
Yeah. And then we had that campsite for 5 days. We only stayed for 3.
Yeah, we went.
No, this is it.
I'm impressed we stayed that long, to be fair.
Yeah. And I just remember having like a soundboard on my phone of like, damn son, where did you find this?
Yeah.
And then things like that. And I remember the neighbour next door, or the person over the other side of the hedge.
Yeah.
They had children with them, and we just kept pressing the buttons with loads of swear words on it, like fuck, shit, bitch.
Yeah.
I remember seeing like a shine of like a torch light.
Yeah.
Scream through the tent, and then I heard, "Hello, can you keep it down? We have children, and you're putting swear words very loudly out into the atmosphere," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh."
Or I remember just trying to fucking fall asleep. And all we hear is you going, "Yuma." He's like, "Yeah," and you're like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah." And he'll just keep going. He'll be like, But it would just be like, you wouldn't even ask a question, you'd just be like, "Yuma," and he'd be like,
Oh my gosh. I mean, as bad as it was, I would play that over and over again, that whole camping trip.
Oh my god.
On a loop. I would. And it's just when that one person had a lot to drink and just refused to do what you asked them to do.
Fucking Josh, my god. It's alright, we can name Josh, he's been on this a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Name and shame it, it's Josh.
Josh Ward had I think he had two fucking honeybee ciders, and I had to drag him up the hill in Falmouth by his neck because he wouldn't fucking. He was trying to talk to a mannequin in a window.
The funny thing is, though, those bee stings, I think they're called. They're
bee
very.
stings. That's it. Yeah, my bad.
They're potent. They do a good job.
I didn't give a fuck. He was being such a pain in the arse.
I know, but from my point of view, from somebody that was outside of the argument,
I didn't have to deal with it. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
There's a video I found of him like annoying. We're sat like on the sofa in Jake's kitchen. He's like annoying me, so I just turn around and I just shove a pack of crisps in his face. Like I don't like it's literally just the bag, and I just shove it in his mouth. So he's like.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'll do that all over again.
I'd change a few bits, but you know the rest of it was good. The rest of it was good. Like we were talking about it the other day, and we were like, as we said, at the time you're there like, but now you're like, the whole thing was just funny. Like it's funny because we all suffered together, like in the rain and the shit and everything. We're there like, oh. Yeah.
It was It's one of the things. I mean, I'd like to do camping again. I haven't ever done since.
I did once.
Was it any better? Did it change your mind on camping?
It was good. Well, we went. It was like 7 or 8 of us. So it was a similar crowd to that time. But we went to the usual place in Wantage, so right by the White Horse.
Yeah, I like that place.
Yeah, that was quality.
Much better.
Yeah, so that was great, and we always went in that perfect window in April when the weather was just perfect. A little bit of rain, but just perfect beyond that. So like everyone comes back burnt as shit. And that was awesome. That was really good.
Yeah, the ones that we did there were great.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, they were so much fun. I remember there was like I think it was on Facebook or somewhere, but a photo came up of like a little montage, and it had. Do you remember when? Was it a drone or a frisbee that got caught in the tree?
The drone, yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was on somebody's shoulder.
You or Michael's.
Either you or Michael had like hold of me by like, the belt.
It was a barbed wire fence. Michael was on your shoulders, and he was leaning into the fence that was digging into his stomach, and I had a hold of your waistband just so you wouldn't fall over it, and you were there like, yeah.
I had some like fucked up car aerial or some shit trying to fucking hook this.
Yeah.
Yeah, this frisbee out of the bush. I remember that.
I think you're right. I think it was a drone. I think it was Henry's drone.
Yeah, or like a remote control helicopter or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved looking through that first trip we did because it's like April. It's unseasonably hot for that time, so everyone's like shorts, sleeves are rolled up, sunglasses. Like, oh fuck, Jesus Christ! And all you see is we're all sat there like fanning, and there's Richard in the corner with a fucking big grey hoodie, sunglasses, and a towel around his head.
I remember that.
And he's there just like, just hiding in the corner. It's just every single picture. He's just wrapped up to the gills. Like he's there like, I'm not getting sunburned. I'm not getting sunburned. I was like, you hot? He's like, yeah, I'm roasting, but I'm not getting sunburned. I was like, all right.
Wherever floats you go.
It's so funny though, because he's literally just in every picture, just dressed like for the winter. And it's just everyone's wearing shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because he always had a hoodie on. Mm-hmm. Well, specifically in that camping trip, at least.
Yeah.
He always had a hoodie on. Oh. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The true nutcase.
Yeah. I think like one of the nicest things about I just had a memory from that camping trip. My uncle is called Rich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Rich.
And I remember one evening I was sat next to Richard and we just kept texting each other stupid shit. And this is when we were like obsessed with like the moon emojis and shit like that. And I texted him.
He still is, mate. Don't worry about it. He still is. Don't worry about it.
Crescent moon emoji space C space U space N space T double space S double space Q space U, double space A, double space D, double space another crescent moon, right? So it's spelled cunt squad, okay? For everybody that can't put letters together.
That is going to be the majority of my audience.
Including the two people on the show right now.
Exactly. Right? Well, yeah, thank you very much, man. I wouldn't know what you're saying with that if you hadn't told me.
But I sent that to my uncle instead of Rich.
Oh, fuck.
But I got the best response. He said, wow, that sounds like a niche group. How can I join? This is amazing.
Legend.
And yeah, that was so funny. But Richard texted me things like from Skepta's songs, like "Ring Ring Pussy," and I was like,
just greeting you with Skepta lyrics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quality.
Oh, it was so funny.
That is quality. I like that.
Yeah, and I had to sleep next to him as well. I think was it you, me, and him in like one little compartment?
No, so we had. I think we were always in one of the big one.
Oh right, yeah.
Which time are you talking about?
The ones in Wanted. So
yeah, so we all because that was Joe's tent, and he just had two big compartments. So he had one for him and Lauren, and because he'd again, I'll come on to that one. And then he had the rest of us in that big one, and then other people obviously bought their own tents. But we there was just two big ones, and then a communal bit in the middle.
Yeah, I just remember it was put on a slight incline.
Mate. So we've been there. I've been there in total 3 years. Every single fucking time, no matter where we put the tent, we're on an incline, and so it always ends up with someone at the bottom, and they wake up in the middle of the night with like 8 people like crushed into them, and they're like, "Fuck!" Yeah. It never changes.
And they'll wake up because their face is pressed against the outside of the tent, where the dew just kind of like.
Yeah, I was there. I've been in that position probably 3 times. I alternated a couple of nights because we were always there 2 or 3 nights. I did it probably 3 times, and I was there like. The only time it was worth it was when I was next to Nathan, because I remember being like that, and because it was tilted at such an angle that I rolled over, and he's in the same position, and we're there just like just staring at each other like, no, none of this.
Who's gonna give up first?
Yeah, we're like, none of this.
Who's gonna break?
Joe cracked me up because we had the 2 compartments, and we were like, you got this the one on the left is for you lot, and so we stuff, and bin all bits communal, and the one is don't worry about that one because it's all zipped up, and we were like, oh yeah, it's Joe and Lauren, just them over there, give them their privacy, and then like we wake up the first morning, we're like, oh, it's so fucking uncomfortable, oh god, Jesus, and Joe gets up like, oh yeah, all right guys, how you doing? And we're like, oh, why are you so chipper? And he was like, what? And we're like, why you we was like, we barely slept. It was horrible. He was like, I slept like a baby. We're like, how? And he was like, oh no, I just did. Then Lauren opens the door, and he's got a fucking blow-up mattress, which is like 20 inches off the ground. And we're like, you son of a bitch. He was like, he just looked at me, and he was like, my tent.
Yeah, I can't argue with that rule. I remember him doing that.
We were like, yeah, fair play. That was a good move.
Yeah, and it's just as well, even the slightest incline, because like the material that the tent's made out of, the surface of the tent, and your average sleeping bag, they're just very silky.
Yeah.
So
you're just sliding.
Yeah, a 2 maybe 3% incline, and you're at the lowest point.
Yeah.
Within 15 minutes.
The best times we had Michael there because he volunteered to go at that point, and then he just whenever people he gave himself a bit of distance. When people just slid into him, he just didn't move, and you're there like, we got a lodestone, it's all good.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't seen him in ages actually.
He's a fucking little prick. Like, because
That's a good way to start.
No, because a couple of months ago I was like, oh, hey man, just in like May, I was like, oh hey man, just checking up with you. Hope you're all good. Obviously because he's in the army, so he's over in Salisbury doing his thing. I was like, yeah, how you doing? You're doing all this. What's going on? He was just telling me, and then I messaged him on Wednesday, being like, oh hey bud, just checking in. When are you next down in Reading? I know you said you'd be down at some point. He was like, oh, I've been here for 2 weeks. I'm like, you fucking asshole. Like, what is wrong with you? What is it with army people and not telling you when they're home? Because it's not just him. Nathan was like it as well.
I don't know. Is Michael enjoying it? Have you managed to speak to him about it?
He says it's either incredible or dog shit. So there's no middle ground. So it's either the best time of my life or I hate everything. So I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Wow.
Makes sense.
I mean, I suppose at the moment they're not really. Well, I don't know from an outsider looking in. I can't imagine them doing very much.
Yeah, so he's saying that because he went to Sandhurst, so he went through the officer academy. So he's like a second lieutenant, I think, something like that. I know. And he's in charge of like 50 dudes or whatever. And I was like, "What's your day-to-day like?" He's like, "To be honest, it's just making sure that the boys are all right because he's just got to like check on, make sure that they're not getting too cranky, make sure their mental health's okay, they're exercising enough, they're doing this, they're doing that." He's just like, and some of them live off the base, so I then got to find out what's going on with them there. So he's like, it's just a nightmare. He said it's boring and a pain in the ass. I was like, yeah. Well, it's just maintenance. They've just got to maintain everyone and everything. And he's just like, he said we fixed all the trucks in the first week, so it's like,
there's fuck all else to do.
Yeah, now what? We could take it apart and put it back together again, I suppose. But you know, what's the point of that?
Yeah. Madness. Yeah, I'm trying to think about what I'm going to have for tea.
At 8:30.
I know. Well, I was going to have it after, like before we started this, and I thought, actually, you know what? I was just in a podcasting mood, so I thought when you said I think we should do it now, I was like, fucking.
Yeah, considering we don't have to physically move, I don't know why I said let's wait a week. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But my only concern, and I'm such an idiot for realizing this an hour and 1 minute in.
Oh no, Matthew, don't do this to me.
It'll be fine. It's just that
we didn't clap.
No, don't worry about clapping. It's just that we can do it now. No, I'll do the reverse. No, it's just that because I was going to remind myself to do it after Josh's one. The last time I did this, Josh had headphones in, I didn't. So whenever he spoke, it came through his recording and then through my speakers over here. So I should be okay to cancel out the lag, as in the background noise. But I've got to remember how to do it now. So I can do it if you send me the file. But then it's like I'll give myself extra work to do. So
yeah.
I can do it. I did it for the last one. I just got to figure out how to do it again.
Yeah, that reminds me of one that I did ages ago. We went to me and Mo. We went to a designer's house, and we had one mic in front of us. That's a lie. No, we had two. So we had like two mics.
You actually had 7, didn't you?
Pardon?
You had 7, really. You're just lying still.
Yeah. We had fucking Dolby surround sound.
Nice.
But yeah, our mics were too close together basically, and so what this one caught on our kind of speech, the interviewees also caught it. So there was like an echo.
Yeah.
I remember like because I used Adobe Audition to.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I've done. Yeah. I've used that. Yeah.
And I had to go. There was like an hour and a half of it, and I remember I had to listen through all of it, and then when we would speak, I had to like drop the levels down on his one, so that you couldn't hear us through his one, so you didn't get that weird kind of like echo. And I had to do the same for his.
Oh man!
And there were certain points where we would talk over each other, and you can hear the echo like, really fucking badly. And so I had to comb through the entire thing. And just to, like, when we talk, turn his off, and then when he talks, turn ours off, and like go backwards and forwards, and it's just long and setting up audio and shit like that. I never knew how fucking difficult it was.
It's not necessarily difficult. It's just a lot of shit. It's just a lot. Yeah. It's a lot of stuff you got to do.
Yeah, there's so many little things you have to take into consideration, I suppose.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, for me, I had a mic stand that was fucked. So like my one with Amy, it was just doing this. It was just going down the whole time throughout the So she was doing this, and she'd be like talking and just doing that. And he'd be doing this. So in the end, it's annoying because that video file got corrupted, so I couldn't show people. But I had to cram. You can hear it in the audio, but I had to cram a load of books underneath the arm so it wouldn't move. But I'm doing that like as we're talking. I'm like, yeah, you keep talking. Just keep talking. Just hold the mic for me for a second. So I'm just shoving stuff underneath it so it wouldn't move. But she's there in the end, like with like a pyramid next to her, just like this little mic sticking out. She's there like that.
That's like the other one we did with somebody. Their studio was in. I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in London, but they had their studio underneath like a bridge that has like train tracks, and there was a train station like right next to it where I got off, in fact. And so every maybe like 10 or 15 minutes, a train would just roll above, and because we were underneath it, it was fucking loud.
Yeah.
And so these two microphones would pick it up, and it meant that we couldn't really talk over it because everything would shake, and it was really annoying. And so we just never put it out in the end because it wasn't good enough quality to do.
Have you ever seen the film Seven?
No, what's that?
Seven is a film that came out in 1995, which I know because I was looking up the list of films that were released on my birthday. It's Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Gwyneth Paltrow, but basically it's Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman are like solving these 7 murders, as in the 7 deadly sins. And the flat that Gwyneth Paltrow and Brad Pitt live in is right by a train track, and they invite Morgan Freeman around for dinner, and the trains are going past, but they have half a conversation, but the trains go past, everything shakes in the flat, like glasses almost fall out of the walls and stuff, and they stop talking until it goes past, and they resume the conversation again. But that just it always reminded me of that as well.
Is it a good film?
It's good. It's people were really horrified by it because it is pretty. Some of it's pretty nasty. But it's not like the worst shit you've ever seen. It's pretty bad though, because some of it is again. Think about the 7 deadly sins, and then you're punished in a manner of those sins.
What? Okay.
So you've got sloth, gluttony, greed, lust, wrath. I can't remember the rest. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So right, I might actually watch that.
Yeah.
Or is it worth it? How like?
It's a good film, and you know the phrase "What's in the box"? You know that, right?
Fuck yeah.
That is 7. That's 7.
Oh. Wow. Every day's a school day. I did not know that. If you're not laughing, you're learning.
Okay.
It's a nice little phrase. You're learning.
Thanks. Do I get that one for free? Yeah.
Yeah, that one's in the house.
All right. Yeah. Thanks. No, appreciate it, mate. Nice.
So did 7 come out on your birthday then?
I was just looking at the year. I don't actually know what came out on my birthday, but it was like a lot of good shit came out. Like that came out. The second Die Hard came out. Usual Suspect. I was so happy with. Pocahontas, Toy Story. I was like, yeah.
Wow. Toy Story. What, the original Toy Story?
Yeah. So obviously it applies to you as well. But I was just like, yeah, 95 was a great year for films.
Yeah.
Great year.
Yeah. Anybody that's listening that was born in 94, then you're just not quite as good. Let's be real. You know, it's just
the only advantage they've got is their Chinese Zodiac. 95 is with the year of the pig, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
It's a bit annoying.
There's nothing wrong with being a pig, man.
True. Bacon, tasty as shit, man. Good source of protein.
What was 94? What was their Zodiac sign?
I think it's a dog.
That's kind of cool.
Dogs. My dad was the dragon. I'm like, yeah.
I think Charlie's that as well, 99.
Yeah, my dad was 64. Yeah, 64 for dad. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it. Yeah, I can't remember.
I always get confused between the Chinese Zodiac and then just like the normal Zodiac shit. I mean, it doesn't mean anything because you can just make shit up about it. But
I couldn't give a fuck about any of it.
Hey, mate, where my birthday's falling, I'm bang on the edge of becoming a different star sign. But I got into my one, which is Leo, the lion. So I'm like, yeah, I love that.
Didn't they change them though recently?
Don't fucking do this to me, mate. Fuck you. I'm not taking a step down.
Didn't they find like a 13?
Yeah, NASA. Actually, I'll find out what it's called. NASA basically made a fucking Zodiac.
Oh shit! Wait, hang on, Matt.
What have you done?
The recording has stopped because my mum rang me.
Oh, I see.
I'm here on my own.
Oh, fair enough.
I've I've started it again. So there will be a small cut.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. No problem. You still be able to hear it. But yeah, for those of you with this video, I should be able to edit it so there's no weird lag or repeat. But Tom's video very briefly fell out, which includes the audio.
Cut out.
You cut out. So we were talking about NASA's Zodiac sign, and it's they discovered, and I'm quoting the quote, a 13th Zodiac sign, and it's a nice, easy name, which is called Ophiuchus, or the Serpent Bearer. Anyone born between November 29th and December 17th will no longer be a Scorpio or Sagittarius, but an Ophiuchus. I don't know. Fuck knows. Let's see what dumb symbol we got for this little shit as well. Okay.
If it knocks you off the Leo, I'm gonna laugh.
Mate, fucking Leo. No, it doesn't. I'm all good. Leo looks like Leo looks like a fucking sperm, for God's sake.
Very, very, very liony.
Thanks, mate. Cancer is people doing 69. Fair enough. Capricorn looks like a U-bend of a tap.
I think that's what I am now. I'm no longer an Aquarius.
Yeah. You're 20th of Jan to 16th of Feb.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that's weird. Pisces looks like the Euro sign. Aries looks like a pair of ovaries. Taurus looks like a knuckle duster. Gemini looks like a Confucius Taoism symbol. Scorpio is just my name with an arrow coming out of it. Is an M with an arrow coming out of it. Sagittarius is a. This is dumb. So you got Scorpio is an M with an arrow going that way. Then you got Virgo, which is an M with a little loop going back into the second line. What the fuck? Who comes up with this shit?
No idea.
Hey, this is so fucking dumb. Who discovered it? They're based. No, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, I thought they like known about it for ages.
Well, oh right, I thought they just made the shit up. Okay, so the argument for this is that it's when you're born, there are certain constellations in the sky, so that's what it's attributed to. So the names we get are what associated to the stars that are present when you're born, which are the star signs. Right. I didn't realize there was an actual astronomical link. I thought they just made shit up, being like star sign.
But I mean, yeah. But why does the stars that you happen to be born under fucking mean anything to begin with?
It fucking doesn't. People want to think they're fucking special.
It's like you give everybody a medal for participating.
Oh, don't even fucking. Well done, as my old manager used to do whenever someone turned up late. Well done for showing up.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny though.
Yeah. Well done for doing your job. Jesus fucking Christ.
Well done for being born on this particular set of stars. You get this.
Why'd you get a fucking medal for existing?
Because birth is a miracle, man.
Yes, but we didn't do it. Our fucking mums need the celebration, not us, mate. They fucking did put the effort in. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And especially, so with my mum. Sorry, Mum, I'm gonna tell the world. But I was early. I wasn't breathing, so they had a cesarean birth for me.
Blimey.
Yeah, I got a cheeky little scar right on my face. It's really, you can't see it from this, but I got a scar. I got a very, very faint scar there from the scalpel that cut my mum. Cut me.
I think I was late, which makes so much fucking sense.
Do you reckon there's a correlation between that? If you're late when you're born, it means you're going to be late for the rest of your life.
Probably, yeah. To be honest, that makes more sense. I'd rather have that accolade than fucking Capricorn, whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it doesn't mean anything. There's no benefit to being a Scorpio. There's no differentiation, or there's no difference in ability or prowess or whatever if you're a Capricorn or if you're a fucking Pisces. It's just is. It's like if you have brown hair or blonde hair, there's nothing better or worse than it. It's just a difference.
Yeah. Although I'll tell you what is interesting. It's sort of related, I suppose. But there's an app on my phone I have called Skylight, I think, and you can use it when it's dark. You can go outside and you kind of use it to look around, and you can tell you what stars are what. Like it tells you how far away they are in terms of light years, or it can tell you that that's planet, that's Jupiter, and that's Saturn, etc., etc. And you can search for like constellations and things like that, and that's really cool. I quite like kind of astronomy is so interesting. It's really fun. Astrology, I'm not so hot on.
No, it's just people making shit up. Like, astronomy itself is fascinating. It's so interesting.
Yeah, and it's a nice way to humble yourself as well, to realise how fucking unimportant. Well, not unimportant, but how.
No, we go with that.
The things you think are.
I think insignificant is a good one to use, because if you go like, oh, I'm really stressed about this, I've got this problem, and then you're like, nah, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Exactly. There's bigger fish out there that are. There's always a bigger fish. As a wise religious monk once said.
As a wise, questionably Japanese religious man once said, would you argue that they would have been, obviously, in this universe, people believe it's a religion. Would they, in their universe, would they class it as a religion, do you think? I suppose so.
Being a Jedi?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Don't they reference it as a religion?
I can't remember if it is. I thought it was just like, I don't know if they ever expressly said those words. Maybe.
I don't know, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is a religion. They devote themselves to it. They have certain kind of like rules, and they believe in something.
Yeah. Which,
to be fair, actually, it does exist.
Yeah, you're like, hats off to you, fair play. Yeah.
So did you say hats off or pants off?
I mean, depends how much you like him, I suppose, and depends what. If it was Ace Sakura, you'd be like, yeah, all right, pants off.
Yeah.
Kaida Mundi, no, I'm good, mate.
He has like 7 wives, though.
He's got 3 brains. Of course, he's got 7 wives.
Yeah. That'd be mad, though, having that long a head.
Yeah. Getting a hat would be a bitch, wouldn't it? Because you'd be like, oh, wait. There we go.
He can't hide either. He can't like hide behind something.
Yeah, you'd just be like, this big extra bit sticking out the top.
Yeah, what's that bulbous object poking out from above that that wall over there?
And he's like, shit. Oh, yeah, it's just Kaida. He's doing his thing, you know.
He'd be like, it's nothing. And he'd be like, oh, it's nothing.
Yeah, don't mind me.
It's nothing. Like it's a Jedi mind trick or something.
Yeah, it would just be the bulb, and then a hand just like sticking up. So it would just be like, I can't even do it from here. But it would just be, it'd be a bulb and a hand, just like.
Yeah. I have to do it now. You realise?
Yeah, go on. So was he just like, yeah, go on, well, you got it.
So it's like.
What's that?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. What's that over there?
It's nothing.
No, a little bit higher. Do it again. Yeah, that's good. Go on.
It's nothing. This could be like the trailer for if you like a little promo trailer before you bring it out.
What? Just a little head and some hands.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
All right.
How's it going, mate? Having fun over there? You've got significantly less things on your bookshelf since I was last there.
Oh yeah, no, I tidied it up.
You can get back up if you want.
Sick. I tidied up.
Mate, I don't know why I said that. I should have just let you stay there for as long as you could.
I would have as well. If you hadn't said anything, I would have stayed there.
Yeah. But no, it's nice to see you know your place.
Tidied up. Is there anything you'd like to look at there while we're here?
What we've got? Well, I enjoy the bookend is still good to see that he's there. I like him. You've got little little stormtrooper man there himself. What's to the right of the stormtrooper?
Oh, this is this thing.
Yeah.
It's a little Lego.
Oh, hello. Good man.
Yeah. Nice little eBay number. This is.
How much? I was gonna say how much is one of them worth? That's pretty big.
It was about 40 odd.
That's not bad.
Which I'll take that, to be honest. Lego's expensive as fuck, so
yeah.
I'll take that.
How old is it?
It's a 2012 one,
okay.
So it's not ridiculously new, to be honest, but like it's still.
Well, the older the better, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's one of my favourite things, and it looks fucking nice on a shelf, and that's all that matters.
You could, if you get another one, you could use those two as bookends.
That would be such a cool idea.
It would be real cool.
Really good idea.
That'd be real cool.
That's a really good idea. And then, yeah.
I mean, a question for you, Tom, that I think all of our listeners would be very interesting to know is that how many pairs of shoes do you have now?
Oh, nowhere near as many as I used to be fair.
Yeah.
There's two there.
Mm-hmm.
There's another two in the cupboard. And then probably only maybe 6.
Wow, that's pretty good for you. Yeah.
I've had a cut down of a lot of shit, hence why there's not so much there.
Yeah.
Or anywhere else.
Would you like to share with the viewers and obviously whoever doesn't have video or listeners? It's an inclusive podcast here. Would you like to share with them that how many shoes you had at your height?
Probably about 30.
30. That's good.
30, that is.
Part of me is horrified. The other part's really jealous because I sold you Richard's Nikes, didn't I?
Yeah. Do you know who hasn't that?
Who?
My brother.
Oh, fair play.
And he fucking wears them as well. And he's cleaned them up. He hasn't managed to repair the little stitch from the toe cap. That I think.
Oh, that was annoying. Did you? Yeah. Did either of you ever put in a new insole? Because they hurt my feet for so long until they molded to my feet.
I didn't.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
They were
but no, he's
sick
he's
shoes.
I could probably go get them. They're probably in his room, to be honest. If you want to have a look at them.
Yeah, oh, go on. It's been years. Let's have a look.
I mean, I'm providing he hasn't taken them to Ken because he might have, but I'll see.
All right. Bit of nostalgic memory lane here. These are hereditary shoes that were passed around like a bag of Skittles. Go on, we all pay for them, but you know.
Oh, we're in for a treat here.
All right, let's do this.
There we go. Look at that. Right there.
A little bit higher. Yeah, there you go.
There we are.
They're still beautiful. They're still fucking beautiful.
They do look cool, don't they?
Yeah.
And then again.
Why you show me the other foot? Oh shit! Oh, that wasn't like that with me.
Well, I mean, just blame my brother to be honest.
All right, fine. Why? Can you have words with him because he's got one with white laces and one with black laces?
It was one with red and one with white, wasn't it? No, one with red and one with black.
When I had them, they were threaded with both.
Oh right.
Yeah.
You got the little glasses.
Yeah, that's so sick. That's so sick.
I reckon they still fit me as well. Because
considering you used to own them, I fucking hope so.
I mean, he's tied them up really weirdly. He's done like knots so you can't pull out.
What the? Has he cut the laces? What? Mate, you need like.
I think he has.
You need like tweezers. Oh, he's done it so he can literally just slip them on.
Yeah.
That's so fucking lazy.
What silly bum bum?
To be fair, I remember me and you in the morning. I come around your house, get there for 8. We're going off to school.
I know where this is going.
And I'll just be like, I'll wait for you to get ready. So your mum's just like, "Want any food or anything, Matt?" I'm like, "Yeah, go on then." I sit down and have breakfast again because you're there just taking so fucking long.
Yeah. Another redeeming feature about me is I'll take fucking ages to put my shoes on.
Yeah, that's not. I think you need to understand what the phrase "redeeming feature" means.
No. I know what it means. It's a redeeming feature. It's a lovable characteristic. I think. See, but the thing is, it makes for funny little flashback memories like the one that you've just delivered. Am I wrong?
Okay. Again, at the time, they make me want to stab you. But yes, it's funny.
Yes. See.
No, hang on. No. Okay, here's the difference. The difference is between you, your timekeeping, and how Yuma's timekeeping used to be. The difference is you did it because you just didn't care. Yuma did it because he genuinely can't tell the time. Because we were like, let's go do this. And he was like, yeah, cool, man. So we're like, we're watching a film. Is he here? No. Okay, we'll watch a film. So we're sitting there. We finish the film. We're going to leave. And he turns up. And we're like, we're done now, mate. And he's like, oh, we're going to watch a film, aren't we? I was like, this was 3 hours ago. What the fuck?
I remember that very, very well.
The best and the best and the funniest version of this ever was when me and you went to see X-Men First Class.
Oh my god!
To this day, I don't know how he managed that.
He just came in, didn't he? He just appeared into the cinema.
Yeah. So for the audience, lovely people, me and Tom, when X-Men First Class came out, we probably watched it about 3 weeks later. So it was middle of the day, like a weekday. We arranged to meet outside the cinema with our friend Yuma. Let's say it was 1 o'clock. So we got there. And we're like, hey man, we gotta go in soon because the film started soon. Where are you? He's like, oh, I'm 5 minutes away. 5 minutes go past. Where are you? Oh, I'm 15 minutes away. We're like, how did you get that wrong? So we then were like, dude, we're gonna go in, and if we see you, we see you. If we don't, we'll catch up with you later. So we go in, buy our tickets, go upstairs. We go. It's not even like we go to the back and sit in the middle. We go and sit like 3 rows on the left or something. We're sat there, and we're like, the credits start going, the opening scene starts, and this fucking dude walks in, comes up and sits next to us, and it's fucking Yuma. And we're like, how did you do that? Like, how did you know what screen we were in, and how did you know where we were sat?
He's like an omniscient being. He just fucking knows things that nobody else knows.
Yeah, even like what dimension he fucking operates in.
Yeah, he's like a obviously a slightly watered down Dr. Manhattan. Obviously, he's not quite as meta.
That's good. That's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah, because if he was Dr. Manhattan, then I would be fully terrified of him. But he's not.
He just turns shit into pure matter by accident.
Actually, talking about Dr. Manhattan, did you ever watch the series on HBO, or whatever it was?
No. Was it any good?
I watched maybe like 3 episodes, and I didn't understand it. Like, you need to watch the film before you, I think. Anyway,
have you seen the film, right?
Yeah, I think I watched it around your house at some point.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Or one of the times I've watched it around your house.
Yeah, why am I asking that? Because if you hadn't seen it, you would know the fuck who Dr. Manhattan was. Sorry, that was a dumb question.
But yeah, I think you need to watch the film before you watch the series. And even then, I don't think it makes that much sense, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, it was alright. Again, I didn't watch all of it, so I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, there's just too much, mate. You can't watch everything, can you?
No. Tell you what I've been watching though, Bob's Burgers. No. What's wrong with Bob's Burgers? Question number 1. Have you watched it?
Yes. Not recently, but yes, I have.
Right. Number 2. Did you enjoy it?
No, I didn't know what was happening.
Number 3. Why?
Bob's Burgers is up there with you got Bob's Burgers, F is for Family, and The Big Les Show and Adventure Time. It's all the same fucking spectrum.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is, mate. You just need to go on like a DMT trip and watch it, and you'll be there like, I get it.
If you want shows to watch on a DMT trip, not that I've ever done it, but I can, like, Midnight Gospel. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Watch any episode of Midnight Gospel.
With that caveat of what experience I should watch it under, I don't want to watch it now.
But it's sort of in a similar sense to what we have. So it sounds like a podcast, right?
Right.
It's 2 people talking backwards and forwards. One as the interviewer and the interviewee, and they talk about some really like out there stuff. A lot of it abstract, and then they just have a cartoon in different styles and different kind of like just different styles that go along with it, but are in no way, shape, or form related to what the 2 people are talking about. So, for example, the first one was I can't remember exactly what they were talking about, what the subject matter was, but the cartoon was there was a big alien or like big zombie invasion. And the interviewer in the cartoons, he kind of pops his head into a little egg and he shoots off into, and he chooses which planet. He's bored already. He's like, what the fuck? I can see it on your face. You're already thinking, this is stupid. And you're right, it really is. But you just have to humour me for a second. Okay, there we go. And he chooses whichever planet to land on, and he shoots himself there, and he lands, and he gets to choose whichever character he wants to look like, right? So he lands on this planet, in particular in the first episode, and it happens to be overrun with zombies, and so he finds his way into the White House, where the president is like maybe that tall, and he's much taller. He's like some big burly bloke, but they just go around shooting all these zombies in this really quite crude kind of cartoon style. And the two people that are actually talking, the two people that voice the president and the big burly dude that is the interviewer, is in no way whatsoever attached to the visual aspect of the show. And they're in fact very, very laid back, and they're just doing what they're doing. And then you have like this kind of zombie apocalypse, kind of like end of the earth shootout. So yeah.
Well, thank you, because I feel like I need to watch it now. You told me what happened.
Oh no, there's plenty more, mate.
No,
go on. They're not that long. They're maybe about 15-20 minutes.
Oh, we'll give it a go in the name of scientific curiosity, but fuck me.
I can't wait for the text back saying you've wasted 15 minutes of my life and I want them back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it won't be that. It will just be, I'm coming for you.
And I would immediately turn that into a sexual innuendo.
And you'll be like, oh.
Yes.
And you're like, stop it.
Oh, stop it, you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And on that note, I've just got to text my mum and I need to go and get the tortoise in. What an excellent way to end, I think.
A very good way. Well, this is Harping On. This will be episode 13 by the time this one comes out.
Wow.
I've got like a bit of a wait list, so this will be I can give you the exact date. Hang on. Where's my calendar? There we are.
Structure, I like it.
September. This will be the 16th of September for this one, so we're a full month away. It's very nice.
Nice one. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Yeah, we'll sort out getting the audio and video over from you later. All right.
Yeah, man. How did Josh send it to you? What
we did it by Dropbox, or email or whatever.
Yeah. Maybe like I might try a WeTransfer or some shit.
Yeah, that's a good shout. Yeah, WeTransfer should be fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet. All right, big man. Take it easy. Thank you for listening, everyone.
Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the babble that came out of my mouth. Probably not, but whatever.
Right. Later.